to simplify things, the number of spots on the sun cause the ionization of our ionosphere, which allows radio signals
exactly.
to bounce off better. Mm-hmm. And so if you have more sunspots, they're going to bounce better, and it's going to be easier to talk with people at greater distances. I guess that's the simplification.
So if you're thinking of becoming a ham, this is probably the best time to do it, because in the next 5 or 6 years, when this peaks, you'll be able to very, very limited equipment, small antennas, talk to the entire world.
All right. You have in the other, maybe we can come back in here, but maybe we can take a look at some of in your repair shop, and you can show us one of your latest projects.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now here we are in your repair room, but I noticed that this is like half ham radio stuff, and then we have on the other side. Why don't you explain a little bit about what we're seeing here? It's beautifully decorated.
Well, the deal was I could have my repair shop here, and that I like to work on ham gear, if I were to share this room with my wife. As you can see, my wife is an artist, so I'm here trying to fix things and trying not to get electrocuted, and she's over on the other side of the room just listening to music and painting. So she likes to do that. She's had her paintings in many exhibits and so forth, but it's fun. It really is. That way we can talk to each other while things are going on here.
Very, very nice pieces of work.
Oh, yeah.
Very talented.
Yeah. Well, she's a lot of it.
Talented,
of course,
and tolerant.
Yeah, very tolerant. Yeah. And
and what is this now? Are these gathering dust in the corner?
Well,
golf
it's
clubs.
cold.
Now, how can you be working 350 countries and playing golf? Have you ever golfed and been on the radio?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But it's cold out right now, so they're going to sit in the corner until we get either the spring or I get lucky enough to go down to Florida for a little bit. But that's my other passion. I just really love to play golf. And yes, I do take a little radio out with me once in a while and use that as an excuse if I flub a shot.
Or in case there's a country that comes on the air that you hadn't worked before and somebody could call you. And
that's right.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave on about the 6th hole and jump in my car and go home, work it.
Okay.
But no, this is where, ham radio is a hobby of many facets. You can talk to people all over the world. You can collect radios. You can just work with local hams. We go out and have breakfast once a week. Just an awful lot of fun to do. One of those facets that I really enjoy is taking older radio gear and fixing it up. I've got my hand on a transceiver right now made in 1959 by the Collins Radio Company. This particular radio was slated to go to a dump down in Florida because it sat on a barn floor for about 30 years. A lot of corrosion involved.
I remember seeing some of the photographs you had, some of the before photographs you showed me.
Right, exactly.
It was pretty badly damaged.
Right, exactly. Now, this radio sold to the U.S. government in 1959 for $6,500. In the ham market, if you were a ham, the owner of the company, Art Collins, was also a ham radio operator, and he had special deals for the hams for $1,200. So you can see the discrepancy in the prices where the military paid quite a bit for a little different radio, but he made these available. But back in '59, if you go to $1,200, $1,500, that was a lot of money. That was 25, 30% of a lot of people's pay back then. So these are very expensive radios, and when I was in high school, we kind of lusted over these, to be honest with you, never could afford them. Now they're not readily available, but you do come across them once in a while, and I just like to fix them up, get them running, and refurb it. I'm talking everything, right down to the painting of the radios and so forth.
This part of this was in your dishwasher? Is that what you're telling me?
I've done that, where you take a chassis of a radio, you take all the parts that could be hurt by water, you take them out, and a lot of times the bottom of the chassis are so full of grit, it's almost very difficult to clean them, almost impossible. You put them in a dishwasher. And then you take them out of the dishwasher and you bake them at about 100, 120 degrees for about 1 hour until they're done. Just kidding. And then you take them out, and then you stop working. Now you have a clean radio, it's dried off, and you can start troubleshooting it. So down here is where I really enjoy just coming in if there's a snowstorm outside, or if it's evening and there's nothing good on TV, which I don't watch much anyway. I can come in here and work. But this is, and then these radios go into the other room. They go on the air. I work lots of people on them, and then just totally enjoy looking at them.
And then you're probably already thinking of a future project of another one that's dead or that someone has that needs repairs?
I've got a fellow that's asked me to repair for one for him right now, and I have another Collins radio, which was actually built in the late 40s, which is going on the bench after this. And just really enjoy working at it. So this is
the Collins radios. Now, it was something when I was a kid. It was way beyond my possibilities of even having one.
Right.
So I never really. I still don't, to this day, don't have one. But I know that there's some people that are rabid collectors of these, and there's many models, and some people have to have one of everything. And I know that Joe Walsh, from the Eagles, who happens to be a ham radio operator and quite a good one, he's an avid Collins collector.
Joe's a big collector, and he likes to buy it, fix it up, clean them. That's his relaxation when he's not involved with music. And a lot of times he sells them. There's a lot of people that you meet in ham radio. Barry Goldwater used to be on the air quite a bit. When he wasn't in Congress, he'd be home. King Hussein used to be on quite a bit when he had some time to relax. The Queen of the Netherlands, she used to like to operate code and CW, so she would be on quite a bit. This is years ago now. And so there's a lot of people out there that you may not know about that are ham radio operators, from your next door neighbor to the king of a country.
Well, I remember specifically with the Collins radios here that one of our friends had a very obscure piece that remember him showing it to us at one of the flea markets that we had gone to up in New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. Don Badecki had this early piece of Collins radio gear that was just a big black pile of rubble in the back of his van, and he spent a lot of time redoing the entire thing. I don't know if it went in his dishwasher or not, but that's worth many thousands of dollars now. He's had many offers, and it's probably one of 5 existing.
That's
pieces.
correct.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Don
and Joe Walsh, I think, has one of the other existing.
Joe's got one of everything.
Right.
Joe can afford it.
He wanted Don's radio, too.
But absolutely, there's a lot of times you go out and buy a brand new radio, but your favorite would be one that you just built almost from the bottom up.
I think from what I've seen with a lot of hams have hams like gadgets. We like to have some of the latest equipment, but an awful lot of hams have something that duplicates an earlier station that they either had or that you said lusted after, and so some people will have a station that they use for everyday use, and then another one that they use for special occasions or something like that. Some of these older radios.
Absolutely.
Maybe when we go back in the other room, you can show us your other special Collins installation that you have.
Sure.
I think it was another one that you rebuilt.
Absolutely. Okay. And, it's ham radio is a lot of fun within itself, but you also find hams in other hobbies too, like photography or pilots, flying, a lot of technical type hobbies they just seem to gravitate towards.
Okay, let's take a walk in the other room, Bob. Oh, okay, this is pretty impressive, Bob. Maybe you can explain a little bit about this, and I know that there's a particular story about the console in the middle.
Oh, okay. Well, let me start at the device closest to me. This is the heart of the threesome here. This is a Collins 51S1. What that really means, it's a general coverage receiver made back in the 60s in one of the most sought-after receivers, made in its day. It's quite interesting. When I started to rebuild this, I realized that some of the parts in here were really damaged. And I said, oh my, what am I going to do now, other than start fabricating parts? So what I did was I ended up getting on the Collins collector net and just putting out a cry, hey, I need this part, this part, this part. And, let me know if you have it, how much do you want for it, and so forth. Never really got any replies, and about a week and a half later, mail started coming to my house from Israel, from Africa, from Russia, with parts for the radio that I was looking for. Just absolutely amazing. What a small world. This section, this is, even though it says Collins on it, is not a Collins piece of equipment. Collins never made a monitor scope for monitoring signals. So this is an old Heath kit. And what I basically did was just take the face off it, and I rebuilt the entire, it was not in very good shape itself, but rebuilt it, painted it in the Collins colors, put Collins knobs over it, and gee, it's a pretty good match, don't you think, for the radio?
Yes, it sure is. It's one of these things that someone would go, well, wait a minute, which Collins model number is that? Maybe you could call that the K1NOK.
Yeah.
Or something like
Well, there's a gentleman that makes these for a fee down south somewhere, but I wanted to do it myself. He'll mix them up. Obviously, the third is just really
By the way,
the speaker.
I see some GE trucks behind here. Have you spent some time with General Electric?
Let me think. Yes, I spent 31 years with General Electric, traveling all over the world and all over the country. I moved my life about 9 times.